Hey everyone, it's Jeremy Kulikowski, and I want to welcome you to another awesome show. Today, we are going to be talking about something else that's controversial. You know, that's what we do around here. We like to bust some major myths and help you guys shift to what I believe is the truth and what I believe is going to help you guys get financially free way faster than a lot of the other traditional, mainstream, conventional wisdom stuff out there. And as you guys know, if you've been watching this, conventional wisdom usually gets you conventional results. And that's why most people in America are broke and overwhelmed and exhausted and fatigued and burnt out. And one of the forms of burnout that people are experiencing is from the really bad advice that I'm seeing around multiple jobs, boring side hustles, draining side hustles, and endless amounts of overtime, things like that, in order to solve their debt problems and to really start to be able to catch up on retirement and savings and all these sorts of things. So if you're watching this and you are just feeling like the debt is not going anywhere, you're exhausted, you feel like you're just spinning your wheels, or you feel like it's just, if anything, again, it's not going away. If anything, it's just getting worse. Like the hole is getting deeper and deeper and deeper, and you don't see any way out. And you've been trying all these different things. You're taking the advice, you're exhausted, you're trying to work multiple jobs, you're trying to do what you can. Maybe I'm driving Uber, maybe I'm trying to do some pizza delivery, or maybe I'm trying to start multiple things. And maybe I'll start this, join this MLM, even though I don't really know what it's about and it doesn't sound that inspiring to me. And maybe I'll try to do this, and maybe I'll start a business, but I have no idea how to do that, and it's kind of overwhelming and it freaks me out, and it doesn't really sound like what I want to do, but it's going to make me some money. Or maybe I'll teach this online, or maybe I'll just work 60, 70, 80 hours a week and try to make it work. If you're like, that's your train of thought, is like you're just trying to do that, again, you're in good company, because again, hey, I did it. A lot of our people have done it. A lot of the people that we talk to have tried doing it. And again, if you're watching this and you just feel like, again, like you're just not getting anywhere, like you're sick and tired of just spinning your wheels. And again, you just really want to be able to fix this, because you feel like you're going to go crazy if you can't get this debt out of your life sooner in a way that's not going to wear you out and burn you out. Then again, welcome to today's show, because we're going to give you guys a lot of hope. So guys, the reason why I'm talking about this is, the first thing I want to say is, the first reason why it's a really bad idea when you're trying to get out of debt and you're trying to do this, to just go for the first thing, which is what most people do, which is, again, just starting a side hustle, just doing something that's, especially like I'm talking specifically about like a boring side hustle or uninspiring. Now, I'm not against starting a business when you're in debt and you have a full-time job, especially if it's, if it's something that you want to do, it inspires you, it's exciting. I don't have any problem with that. What I'm talking about is just go out there and do anything that you can to just make money. Just if you can get $15 an hour, $20 an hour, 20, whatever, and you can make some good tips, whatever, and that's another way, just go out there and do it. Whatever you have to do to make money, just go do it. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. And the reason why, first of all, like when it comes to side hustles, things like that, are just endless amounts of overtime, especially if you're not even that satisfied at what you're doing and you're not even excited about your job, and and you're having to work multiple things like that. The reason why we just strongly urge against that is because, guys, first of all, it's just not sustainable. It is not sustainable. I talked to hundreds of people, and I cannot tell you, like, you like, people say like, I did it and I tried it, or they're doing it, but eventually, guys, you lose steam. You lose steam because all that advice is just given from a place of basically just tap into your adrenaline, tap into that fight or flight, and just do whatever you got to do, and work yourself and just get after it. But guys, here's the thing with adrenal glands. We only have so much adrenaline. You only have so much adrenaline, especially for something that is not exciting for you, that's not inspiring for you, that is just wearing you out. Like it doesn't light you up. It doesn't get you out of bed in the morning. And if anything, again, it just makes you want to sleep even longer, because it leads to more depression or feeling like you're not good enough to make money elsewhere. It just really wears you out. So guys, what we found is, first of all, again, it's just not sustainable. It's absolutely not sustainable, because it might be something that, yeah, sure, you could go work a bunch of side hustles and do a bunch of 70 hours, 80 hours a week. And you could do that maybe for a few weeks, a few months, things like that. But guys, eventually, we're all human beings. Like, your body's going to give out, your mind's going to give out. Your family's going to they're going to get sick and fed up with it, because it's like, as much as your family wants you to get out of debt as much as you do. And again, for anybody that's doing these things, I wanted to, again, as the caveat, like I'm saying, like, guys, I'm not beating up on you. Like, I don't want you to feel bad for this. You're just doing the best you can. I'm just trying to help you guys, because I think I know you've gotten a lot of really bad advice. And I really just want to protect you guys from suffering in a way that's unnecessary. Okay. So just please hear me out. Like, if you're doing any of the things I'm saying, you're not wrong. You're not dumb for doing them. You're doing the best that you can. Some of you, again, it might make sense for you to keep doing them just for a little bit until you can, understand and digest what I'm talking about. But in the meantime, guys, just understand it's just not sustainable. Okay. If it's something that does not inspire you, that doesn't light you up, it doesn't give you energy, and especially if it's having to take you away from your family to get it done, guys, it causes so much resentment for you as the person, because you want to be with your family. You don't want to come home, clock out, come home, and then have to go kick rocks again and go work somewhere else, doing pizza delivery or some other random thing or some other thing that's taking you away from your family. Most of you guys, you care, you want to be your family, or you want to just recharge, you want to relax, you want to maybe even watch a show or read a book or something like that, and you don't want to sleep, and some of you guys, you're working yourselves ragged trying to make it work. But again, I want you to work smarter, not harder. And I really believe that it's unsustainable side hustles and all of these sorts of things. It's just wearing so many people out, and it's making them feel dumb because they're taking the conventional wisdom from a lot of people, but they're ultimately finding themselves again. It's like, yeah, like I'm getting out of debt, but like I basically like added, like took 10 years off of my life, and my family doesn't even remember my name, but hey, we're debt free. And that's what drives me crazy. It's like you see these like people say, oh, we're debt free and doing all these things, but it's like, but at what cost? At what cost? And guys, I want you to be debt free. Like I want you guys to, to get after it and then get this stuff out of your life. But guys, like it doesn't have to happen, to where it's like you have to sacrifice your entire sanity and your family and your health and your well-being and your mental well-being to be able to do it. Okay. So first of all, again, it's just not sustainable because you're going to burn out mentally, physically. A lot of you, your families are going to get burnt out. Daddy, 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 can I play? No, I got to work. Mommy, 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 no, sweetie, I got to work. And it's like, again, there's nothing wrong with working. There's nothing wrong with doing some of these sorts of things. But what I'm saying is that when you're doing it like that, it just does not work. It doesn't work long term. And part of it, guys, too, is that it's just uninspiring. It's uninspiring. Like a lot of this work, it's like, especially if you don't like your day job, already, and it doesn't, in which the majority of America is not satisfied with their work, is feeling drained by it, is not feeling, refueled by it, whether it's the culture and whatever it is, they feel like they're meant for more. They feel like they're meant to be doing something more, they're worth more, whatever it would be. Most people are showing up to work not feeling fully satisfied. So when it's like, yeah, let's just stack another 10 to 20 hours of misery on top of the 40 hours you're already doing, guys, like it's uninspiring. It is uninspiring, and it doesn't make you want to show up as the best version of you. And again, guys, when you're doing uninspiring work, it is stressful work. And when you are stressed, what happens to you? Right? Ultimately, you become more irritable. You become more irritable toward your family. You find yourself snapping more. You find yourself less patient. You find yourself having a harder time sleeping. You find yourself that, like, no matter how much sleep, sometimes it doesn't feel like enough. You feel like you're getting drained. You're getting exhausted. Your body starts giving you warning signs. Your blood pressure, your cholesterol, whatever it would be, starts going up. Or you find yourself, again, you might find yourself just feeling like, again, just totally fatigued. Autoimmune things start coming up. I mean, guys, stress is a leading cause of disease. And so ultimately, when you're uninspired and you're not doing sustainable work, guys, it stresses you the heck out, and it stresses your family out. And it's like all in the name of getting out of debt. I just think that there's a better way. I know there's a better way. That's what we're going to talk about. So, guys, again, it's uninspiring, and again, it's short-sighted. It is short-sighted. It's what you call penny wise and dollar foolish. Most people are spending so much time just trying to collect what they can, getting, working their little, $15, 20 an hour side hustle, or working their little bit of overtime. And I'm not saying, guys, again, that working a little bit of overtime for a season is dumb. Okay. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that ever, doing a favor for somebody or working a little bit of side hustle is dumb, but I'm just saying, guys, like, you have to really think about the long-term impact of how that's going to affect you and your family. But then you also have to think about as well, what are you leaving on the table? A lot of people, it's like most in America, guys, just goes for the flash shiny objects. It's like, what's the easy way to make money? And right now, guys, like any of you guys, if you want to go out there and make an extra 20 bucks an hour, whatever it would be, there's 1,000 ways to be able to do that. It's easy. But you know what, you guys, what's interesting is that most wealthy people, they don't do it's easy. They do it smart. And it might take a little bit more deliberation. It might take a little bit more thought. It might take you a little bit more time to be able to do that. But what we're gonna talk about here, guys, if you really want to be smart about it, like, I would rather you guys, it may take a few months to be able to start making some significant money that has unlimited potential to grow, than just, immediately, just saying, okay, I'm just going to go for a quick buck, a quick buck, a quick buck, a quick buck. Meantime, you're leaving all this money on the table because it's the money that you're not making by really earning your value, by really being able to, step into your, more of your worth and more of your skill set, things like that. We'll talk about here in a second. It's by leaving that money on the table. That's your biggest expense. But a lot of people, again, they're just going for the quick buck, things like that. And again, it's great for if you just need a little bit of short change, or change real quick. But again, ultimately, it's not sustainable. It's draining, and it's going to lead you out, guys. It's going to lead to so many problems in your life, problems at home. And guys, even then, I personally did it. Whether it was like delivering food and things like that. And when you're out there doing things like that, and you're working these side jobs or these side gigs, whatever, that you really don't care about and that really don't inspire you, it's ultimately, guys, what it can really do is it reinforces this identity that is of like, this is all I'm worth. This is all I'm capable of. And it's embarrassing. And it's embarrassing. Like it's, when you're delivering food to people and it's like, and that like deep down there's something inside of you that's like, I'm meant for more. Like I know that I could do better than this. And I'm not, please hear me again. I'm not diminishing anybody that's doing that. I'm not making fun of everybody. Again, I've done it. I've been there. And again, for some of you, it's like you just might be having to do that to survive right now. I get it. So I'm not harping on you, but I'm just saying it's like, it can be so embarrassing and so exhausting. And ultimately it's like, is this really it? Is this really it? Like just go work a bunch of things like that, and then basically come home already exhausted and missing my family for this, just to get a few tips and like people that don't even tip and things like that. I mean, it's like, is that really it? Or work a bunch of overtime, and then ultimately it's like you're just at work and your boss doesn't really even appreciate you, that no one's really giving you an appreciation besides the thank you for the dollar. It's like, is this really what I'm meant for? Is this really it? Just work myself to death and be unhappy and unfulfilled, and then I die and it's like, hey, but I'm debt free. It's like, no. Right. So again, guys, but that's what so many people are seeing. So really, guys, as well, again, it's just a big band-aid. Again, it's just a real big band-aid for the things I'm going to talk about. So it's ultimately like there's so many things that you could do, guys, to change the game and be able to do that. But really, again, it's a huge band-aid. Just side hustles, multiple side jobs and things like that. It's overlooking the few things that I'm going to talk about right now that I really believe if you will implement these, that it will change the game and it will help you guys get out of debt so much faster, so much smarter, but not just getting out of debt, building wealth, because that's the thing that most people aren't talking about. It's like, oh yeah, we can, yeah, you might do some of these things and pay off a few $1,000s in debt and you're debt free. But guys, again, here's the thing that no one really talks about. Then what? Right? Then what? So like you worked yourself to death, you do all these boring and uninspiring side hustles and multiple hours and all these things, but then what? Then what? And I've seen it where it's like, people might get out of debt and they're just like, okay, now what do I do? Like, now how do I build wealth? Like, it's like, so I'm gonna have to do this for like another 6 months, another 6 years. It's like, to be able to, it's like, you can't, guys, especially like if you're behind hundreds of thousands of dollars in retirement, if you're in your 40s or you're in your 50s and you've barely got anything set aside, guys, the way that you're going to be able to get to where you can be millionaires, which all of you should do, because again, when you look at like how much it's going to take for you guys to live, cost of living, inflation, especially with all of this money printing and things going on, it's like, guys, like your money is not going to last as long as it might have lasted maybe 100 years ago or something like that, or 50 years ago. It's like inflation is going to be a real thing. Cost of living is going to keep going up. Those dollars are not going to stretch as much as when they need them to. So a lot of people, that's why you see them. It's like they get into their 60s or 70s thinking they're going to be fine. And then all of a sudden, it's like they're greeting at Walmart because their money ran out. Their money ran out. And that's if they can even afford to work. But guys, what we're seeing more and more, and I'm talking to people every single day, it seems like it's happening more and more every single month. I talk to people, is that now their family members, their parents are calling and saying, we need you to help us pay our mortgage. We need you to help us. We need you to take us on. You need to take us in because we're not prepared and we can't work. They physically, mentally cannot work. And guys, again, I don't want you to be in that position for you, and having to be that burden on your kids. But I just want to prepare you guys because some of you guys are about to be taking on that burden onto your back, and you already feel. Some of you guys already feel like you're carrying the weight of an elephant on your shoulders, and for some of you guys, it's the weight of the world. And I don't want you guys to have to keep dealing with that, or ever have to deal with that fear. But again, guys, the truth is that's where most people are headed. So again, guys, the problem with that is that it's side hustles and multiple, overtime and stuff like that. If you really think through it, like, could I sustain this for like 15 or 20 years? The answer would be no. But people are just like head down, like grind, work it. And then a lot of times it's like gazelle intense. Now listen, there's nothing wrong with being intense like a gazelle, but I just want you to be intense in the smart way, right? So again, it's like there's nothing wrong with working really hard, with saying like, I'm going to bust it, I'm going to get after it. But again, guys, I want the journey to be fun, right? Not just the destination, right? Not just the screaming debt free. And then what? Like, I want you guys to be able to enjoy the journey and have it be something that's sustainable, that's long-term, that's something that you guys can actually like enjoy and want to do the rest of your life. So guys, here's the thing. Okay. So I want you basically, here's what I'm saying. Here's what I want you to do. Instead of all the other stuff we just talked about, that does not work, that's not sustainable, here's what I want you guys to do instead. And if you guys will take this on instead and really just chew on this and think through this with me, guys, it's going to make so much sense. Okay. So here's the first thing is like focus on the long game. Like I talked about, focus on the long game. So the first thing, guys, is to just focus on like getting paid what you're worth. And basically, guys, what I'm saying is instead of working all of these different side jobs and all these different side hustles, really evaluate your primary source of income. Really evaluate the 8 to 10 hours you have in a day to be able to do your work, right? Am I getting paid as much as I could be getting paid? Is there a promotion? Is there some sort of raise or something that I could get? Because guys, really, there's only two ways to get out of debt quicker. Okay, you save more money, but by you're managing your money better, saving it better, right? Just the money already coming in, and then you make more money. There's really nothing else beyond that, right? So right now we're talking about like how do you do that second part where you're really like how do we make money smart? Okay, so the first thing again, look at your day job, evaluate it and say, okay, am I really getting paid as much as I could be getting paid here? The answer for everyone that I talk to is pretty usually 99% of the time is no. No, right? You could totally be getting paid more even without having to change complete careers and go back to school and get a bunch of different degrees or certifications like that. Most people could be getting paid more, by if they're working for somebody else. But especially guys, when it comes to working for yourself, there's unlimited earning potential, right? So really the two things that we always encourage people is it's like, if you want to make more money, instead of working all these other sorts of things, let's focus on, a combination of the two, right? Making more working for somebody else, right? Or making more working for yourself. Or again, doing a little bit of a combo where we might help people at first. It's like you start making more money for yourself, but now also you're starting to, work a business on the side, but not just any sort of side business or things like that. Having a business that actually is exciting for you, is fun for you, is something that lights you up. It's basically, we tell people you should get paid having fun doing what you love. You should get paid for your hobby. That's something that is sustainable and fun. Now, is that an overnight solution? No. We tell people all the time, like, especially if you've never run a business or things like that, it's going to take some time. It's going to do that. But guys, why do people not do that? Why do people not do that? Okay. So when we talk about that, like, it's not ultimately a lack of skill set, which is important, right? So again, poor skill set is one of your obstacles, right? That's really one of the first obstacles, right? To being able to get paid your worth by doing that. But really, guys, ultimately, it's like it's not even that primarily. It's the things like fear, overwhelm, getting ready to get ready, right? Procrastination, analysis paralysis. I talked to a guy yesterday. I was like, so what's holding you back from really getting your income up and, going out there and getting a better paying job? He was just honest. I appreciate him. He's like, I'm afraid, I'm terrified. I was like, at least somebody is honest around here. So for most people, there's fear, there's overwhelm, there's a lack of certainty, a lack of conviction. There's like, maybe this is all I'm worth. There's depression, there's sadness, there's anxiety, all of those sorts of things, guys, internally. All of the mind trash, the things that you've been told, and the things that you heard growing up, and all the different just programming that you've had in your life, from teachers or students or a society or peers or whatever. Maybe your SAT scores or the lack of getting invited to college, things like that, programmed you, right? And you took it and you ate it, right? Instead of rejecting it and creating your own truth, you took it, you made it gospel, and now ultimately it's like that's a reflection. Your beliefs or your income is a reflection of what you believe about you, about what you're capable of, about the world. It's basically, again, guys, that's what your income is. So if you're not satisfied with your income, you got to go right back up and figure out like what's going on in here, right? That's keeping me from being able to actually earn what I want. Okay. So that's the first thing, guys, that we tell people is like, if you have, obviously poor skill set is a thing. So like schooling, negotiation, networking, like some of you guys need to get more skill set. But again, like I've talked about, guys, the main thing that keeps people from even acquiring the skill set, going after the skill set, or even if they have the skill set, being successful is your mindset. It's your mindset. It's what's going on here. It's your psychology. It's your emotional state. It's again, if you are living in a chronic state of anxiety or overwhelm or defeatedness or depression or hopelessness, or there's stuff going on where you believe that you're not smart enough, you're not worthy, you're not capable, that's too hard, you don't have the time. That's, by the way, guys, people that usually say they don't have enough money also never have enough time. Just throwing that out there. Okay. So if you're always finding yourself saying, I don't have enough time, it's usually the same people who don't have enough money. Okay. I don't never met really a lot of people that are multimillionaires that it's like, yeah, I don't have time. It's like they find time for what they want and what they value. So, but again, you tell yourself all of these different things like that. It freaks me out. It causes me a panic. I don't have what it takes. It's going to destroy my family, or it could cause all these burns. It's all of these things and these lies and these myths, which obviously if you've done wrong, then yeah, it could lead to some of that stuff. But really, if you know how to do it right, and if you have the right mental fortitude and stability and strength and belief and certainty and confidence and the things that everyone needs to be successful in business and getting paid more working for somebody else, because nobody wants to promote and nobody wants to elevate and nobody wants to help, give someone more money if they're ultimately not showing up that way, right? So you want to hire rock stars, you want to hire superstars, you want to hire people that are kicking butt, taking names, and chewing bubble gum, okay? And you want to ultimately, like, you want to work and you want to hire people there like that. But you have to have a solid mindset. You have to have such an incredible belief, self-belief, and you have to have an ability to be able to have the certainty you need to go out in the marketplace and crush it. Okay. So that's the first thing, guys. It's like by focusing on focusing on like your day job, focusing on your primary 9 to 5, the things that you're doing, the primary ways you're earning money, like having fun doing that is like reinforcing the mindset that you need to go out there and be successful. Okay. But the second thing that holds people back, guys, ultimately from being successful and being able to, to focus on the long game, to get something that's going to bring in more money and make it sustainable, guys, is ultimately it's your lack of money management, right? Or your poor money management. It's basically not mastering the money that's already coming in. And here's what I mean by that. If you are if like how many, I'm sure you guys have experienced this, but right, we've had so many people that come to us like, Jeremy, I've made really good money in my life and I have nothing to show for it, right? Or I have barely anything to show for it. It doesn't make any sense. I don't understand what it is. Eventually, guys, any human being, any logical person, you just shut down. Eventually, you just are like, what's the point? What is the point of making all this money and sacrificing all of these different things and whatever, only to like look back and be like, it's not even making any sense because like I don't know where the heck it's going. I don't know what it's going to. It doesn't seem, I'm not getting, the debt's not really going away or my wealth isn't really going up. What's the point? Eventually, guys, you just burn out. So, and at the same time, guys, when you don't have your money under control and know where your money is going, you haven't mastered your current income, it causes you, again, all of the stress that we talked about earlier, the stress, the fight or flight, the freak out, the anxiety, the scarcity mentality, right? Guys, like, when you think about hiring somebody to do work for you, it's like, do you want to go to the doctor who's like, hey, my name's Dr. Bill. Hey, speaking of bills, I got a lot of them and I could really use this work. So, when would you like to get that surgery done? You'd be like, like, get me out of here, right? Because you'd smell it. It's like commission breath. Or you go into some place who's like there's like a sales team. Or again, it's like if you're going for if you're hiring someone for an interview, it's like, do you want the person there that just like there's desperation all over their face and they look hungry and like they haven't eaten 10 years, because inside, because they're so desperate to get work? Because why? They don't have their money under control, because it's like they're still freaking out because they have no plan. They have no strategy. It's like their money, like, and their money is like going who knows where. Guys, you have to, like, if you really want to set yourself up to be successful for the long game, and you guys really want to make more money, and doing it smart, guys, what's going to inspire you to want to make more money and give you the foundation you need psychologically and emotionally and in your belief and just how you're showing up in life, you have to have that solid foundation. You have to find that solid foundation. You got to dig really deep and you got to lay the concrete. You got to do the things that you have to do. You got to get your money under control. You got to have a rocking budget. You got to have a rocking plan and a rocking way of like telling your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. So again, guys, and doing it the right way, where it's exciting with you and your spouse, where it's fun, where it's something that, again, makes you just want to do it, where you want to talk about money, where there's no animosity, there's no tension, things like that. So again, even with that, you have to know how to do it the right way, like how to manage it the right way, how to have fun with it, like how to enjoy the process, where really, like we call all of our couples that we help, it's like dream teams, where it's like, man, it's like we feel like a team. We feel like we're like, getting after our dream. We're doing this together. We're doing it with fun, excitement, and joy, things like that. So guys, that's really the second thing, is like, you obviously have to have a rocking mindset. You have to also have a rocking money management. You have to have your money that's already coming in totally mastered. And guys, the final thing is, again, we always talk about these things, but it's just true. It's you have to have a rocking marriage, right? If you have a poor relationship, guys, it is sabotaging your income. And it is keeping you having to work all these other things, because guys, here's the thing, even as well, like the reason why so many people do those things is because they don't want to be home, because it's like, it's not an inspiring place to be. It's not a fun place to be. It's like your spouse is maybe always stressed out, or they're dumping it onto you, or you're freaking out and you're yelling at them, or you're whatever. And it's like, and then you feel bad and guilty. So then you don't want to be around. Or again, it's like the lack of intimacy is there, the lack of passion, the lack of respect and trust, and all of those sorts of things. And so if your marriage is not healthy where it needs to be, first of all, that's one of the reasons why people are working so much and overworking themselves, is because it's just like another coping mechanism. But what it does, again, it burns you out and does all those things that we just talked about earlier. So first of all, it's like you have to want to be home. You have to want to be able to do that. But again, guys, the problem is that it's not just that. Because also, if your marriage is uninspiring and it's like, and it's causing you guys, conflict and things like that, guys, it defeats you. Especially, it's like, if I just think about any men that we talk to, if you feel like you're failing in your marriage, if you feel like you're not enough, if you don't feel like your spouse is, like that you are the hero to them, and that they're your, that you are their champion, you are their warrior, you're the person that, just make that they trust you, they have so much respect for you, they have so much admiration for you. If you don't feel that, guys, like, it affects every single person. It affects women, it affects men. But I've just seen it, especially with a lot of men. It's like, if you go out the door like that, It's like most men, it's like you're hanging your head low, you got your shoulders down, you're hunched over. And it's like ultimately what happens, guys, is it just sucks the life out of your confidence. And ultimately, again, who do you want to hire? Who do you want to hire? Do you want to hire the person that's kind of that's down and beaten up on themselves, or you want to hire the person who's like, man, I'm just loving life. Life is great. I'm so blessed. I'm so grateful. My money's under control. It's like my marriage is rocking. My life is great. I'm so fulfilled, so excited. Like, how can I help you? Like, that's the person that you want to help. But guys, again, when your marriage is not on a solid foundation, guys, it is another capacity stealer. It is another leak. It is another drain on your finances, especially if you're not on the same page, because one person's spending here, the other person's spending here, things like that. You're not communicating. And again, you can go out there and make all the money that you want, but ultimately it's going to keep slipping through the cracks. And I've met people that are making 15, 20, $25,000 a month. They're still broke because ultimately they have no plan for it. They're both each doing their own individual thing. And they're even then it's like you might have an overdraft, or you're getting hit with penalties and things like that from like your fees. And it's insane. It's crazy. But it happens when your marriage is not stable, when it's not healthy, not just stable, but healthy and flourishing and thriving. And so, guys, here, just to come back and recap everything again, just real quick, because I'm going to go on a date with my family, is that you ultimately have to choose the long game. You have to choose something that's sustainable, something that's fun, something that's exciting, something that's going to get you there over the long haul. And you have to be able to overcome all of the obstacles that are holding you back from really flourishing and being successful. You have to have a rocking mindset, like we talked about, when it comes to going out there and crushing it, whether it's working for someone else or working for yourself or a combination. You have to have a rocking marriage. You have to have a rocking mastery over your money. And like we talked about, you do need to have the proper skill set, right? For some of you guys, you need to learn how to negotiate better. You need to know, like, what are some of the best ways to market, or what's kind of certification would be helpful for me to do that. But guys, even that, like I said, it's really interesting. Even that, most people, the reason why they're not doing that, or the people that are doing that are somewhat successful, it's because of the other three things that we just talked about. Okay. So again, guys, if you're at a place where you are like, I'm doing all of the quote unquote right things that people are telling me to do, but I don't feel like it's really changing anything. And if anything, it's just burning me out. It's exhausting me. And I know that this is not sustainable over the next, 6 to 12 months, or even, 6 to 12 years. And I have to build wealth. I know that I got hundreds of thousands of dollars more to save for the future. This is not sustainable, but I want to be able to become the type of person that can go out there and be successful and finally get this debt out and do it in a fun, exciting way that's going to be long-term. It's going to actually work, guys. And I would invite you guys, go to dreamteammarriage.com, book a call with us, and we'll help you guys figure out, like, what is it that's really holding you back financially? Where's what's holding you guys back, from getting the debt out of your life, from being able to build wealth and get your savings where you want it to be, and then help you guys create a strategy that's going to be sustainable, that's going to be fun, that's going to help you guys get where you want to be, to get on the same page with your money, to get full mastery over your money, to become the type of person that can handle whatever shifts you might need to make in your finances. Because guys, I'm going to be honest with you. And it's like, some people call it racking the shotgun to kind of freak some people off and scare you off. If you're watching this, guys, listen, I told a couple this last week, and it was so awesome because they're like, we're doing it, or this last week, because like, we're doing it anyway. But I just told them, I was like, guys, this is not going to be easy. I was like, she was a stay-at-home mom, and she's so sweet. And she's like, I know that I need to get some extra work and bring in some extra money. He was a full-time, working for somebody, place else. And I was like, listen, guys, this is not get rich quick. Like, yes, there's money that's going out of, that you need to get mastery over, that it's going to make a big difference. And it's like, we're going to teach you that and show you that. But honestly, guys, you need more money. And it's going to mean you're going to need to either start a business, or it's going to mean, or you're going to need to get a better paying job working for somebody else, or a combination of the two. And I was like, there's no secret sauce, guys. Like, that's it. But the problem is all of those other things I talked about, if you cannot address them, in terms of your communication and your own mental fortitude and your own emotional state, in terms of your own belief, and the thousands of different things that could sabotage you, and our limiting beliefs and fears and capacity stealers and all the things we just talked about, the stressors and the anxieties, all that stuff. If you cannot get that stuff out of your life, it's not going to allow you and free you up to be able to go out there and do those things. So guys, again, any solution that you're looking at that's going to says we're going to help you with your income and do that, guys, you have to make sure that there's actual support. They're actually going to help you overcome the human obstacles, which again, guys, that is the number one obstacle. It's humanity. It is not the strategy primarily. It is the person in the mirror. It's the person who's struggling with laziness or overwhelm or freak out or anxiety, or feeling like I can't do this and this is too hard and all those sorts of things. Guys, we all do it. The best of us do it. That's why I need help. That's why I need coaching. That's why I need world-class support. And I spend a whole heck of a lot of money doing it. And that's why you guys need it. Everybody needs, like, you need a coach. You need a mentor. You need somebody that can hold your hand and help you so that no matter what you choose to do, whether it's making more money working for somebody else or making more money working for yourself and being more efficient about that, working smarter and getting paid what you're really worth and capable of, if you, especially for some of you guys, if you did a little bit more investing in your own skill set, guys, I'm telling you, like, that is what's going to change the game. That is what's going to change the game. It's sustainable. It's going to be fun, and it's going to be what allows you guys to be able to do it in a way that it doesn't suck the life out of you and suck the life out of your family. So again, guys, if you want a strategy and you want to sit down and talk about what that could look like for you, go to dreamteammarriage.com. We'll help you guys work through that and ultimately help you guys finally just come up with something that's going to be better than what you got right now. Because if you're watching this, you're probably thinking, Jeremy, it's just not good or it's not good enough. Like, I want to be great. And especially for people where it's like, it's pretty good, but I want to be great because I know that like the clock is ticking on some of these things and I want to get results quickly. Guys, that's what we do. That's what we're world class at. And that's why those calls are so freaking amazing and they're absolutely free. So dreamteammarriage.com, go ahead and book that call. And guys, that's it for tonight. So again, take this, guys, hashtag replay, shoot me any questions or comments, and I'd be happy to answer you guys and share this with somebody that you know. Maybe it's your spouse or a friend who's totally wiped out and feeling exhausted and burning them out. And you're like, you know what? I feel like they could be working smarter, not harder. Send this on to them. And ultimately, guys, if you need help, book a call and we'll get you guys settled and where you guys need to be. So love you all. Have a great day. And we'll see you guys on the next show next week. Have a good one.